you say, what's me? What's the true me? That itself is it's relative to how you perceive it at the moment. Because within you, there's different levels of what you truly are. As a matter of fact, at the core of what you really are is God, right? It's the core, it's the Yechidah, right? However, the way you see yourself, the second you put yourself into some, and I wouldn't say the second you put yourself, but every normal person, from the start, from the beginning of your perception, you're already putting yourself into some formation. And that formation is not the true you, but how you perceive yourself, how you identify. Yeah. Yeah. They were? Who? This person was there? Yeah.
And he like saw the future after like 30 years, and he still looked like exactly like the future. His beard, they said like his beard was still a little wet from like the dick.
So I hate to break it to you, but that's simply not true, because no one saw the previous Rebbe when they were burying the Rebbe.
Yeah.
No, because I personally know people that were there, and what they did see was they saw the outside of the coffin. The previous Rebbe was in a coffin, right? They saw the outside of the coffin, and it was like perfectly. It was as if it was just put on the ground, meaning it was like a perfectly, usually wood, when after you leave it for years, it'll just disintegrate and come into pieces. Here at Mamish, you saw the wood perfectly fine. No one saw the actual Friedrich. It just never happened. So no. There was one of the Rabbi. There was a different one of the Rabbeim. I forget who it was. But they actually moved his grave at one point. And they said that when they moved the grave, they actually saw that they saw these shrouds, the covering. The covering was still perfectly intact, and everything. It felt like he was completely intact.
This is Rabbi Maharaj.
It could be the Rabbi Maharaj.
I remember and they took a picture of it, and the Rabbi said not to publish it.
They took a picture of it?
Because the Rabbi said not to publish this image of the Rabbi, because it's like degrading him. Not to do
no, it. But they didn't take a picture of the actual Rebbe. They may have taken of the shrouds.
Right.
Anyways, let's get on to our Gemara, which is going to get a bit spooky. Actually, it's not that spooky today. It's more. It's a bit. How should I say it?
Meltdown.
No, superstition is there. Yes. Yeah. Okay. If a person lets blood and they do not wash their hands after they let blood, mafchid shiva yoimim, they will have a 7-day phobia.
Whoa.
Yeah. So make sure to wash your hand after you let blood. I do want you to know that letting blood, in the olden days, they used to do it as a form of healing. Now, some people laugh at it, but even today, the doctors will tell you that it's healthy to let blood every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because what it does is that your blood cells, basically, as long as they're still alive, your body uses them. And very often your blood cells, they get very old, right? And when you let blood, it forces your body to create newer, younger blood cells. And it's actually healthy. People say it's healthy to let blood every once in a while. First of all, to actually just let blood, usually they have at the corner over here by the Saraya, every few days they have like an ambulance, and they have they donate blood, what's that? So by the way, by you donating blood, it's not just that you're doing the other person a favor. You're actually doing yourself a favor. If you do it, usually they say about once every 3 months to let blood. It could make you healthier.
Wow.
Because it's a little bit like exercise. You use up your energy, and then your body has to give you more energy, and that actually strengthens your body. It's the same thing with blood. When you let blood out, your bone marrow has to create more blood, and by creating it more blood, it actually gives you fresher, healthier blood. And in the olden days, it was actually a very popular healing thing.
No, in India,
our scientist is a little bit too quiet today. Am I right? You heard of this, or I'm talking
Rabbi,
trash?
In India, they do it.
I don't know. It used to be abused a lot. The bloodletting thing used to be abused a lot.
Right.
It seemed like a cure-all, and it kind of caused a lot of damage. I think there's some few situations where it's healthy But
Rambam
it could be.
says something.
But I mean, I agree. It's good. What you're saying is correct. It does renew your blood cells.
Yeah.
Red and white.
Good. It does renew the blood
In
cells.
India,
Is
they
good.
use
So
the
again, it could
blood
be that in
cells.
the olden days, as our friend Yaakov David says over here, it could be in the olden days they used to, every stupid little disease they used to let blood, and they think it was like a magic cure. No, first of all, by the way, even today, the doctors will say to do it. I think it's like not more than every 60 days, and I think they say to do it really every 90 days, not more than every 90 days. I think they tell you like you could do it every 60 days, but not to do it more than 90 days. Anyways,
I want to do it.
but the point is, you could, as I said. By the way, you should ask me. For some reason, I gave blood a few times, and they're constantly sending me these messages on my thing. Let's see if I got.
Soldiers and for surgeries and stuff.
Well, they need it in general. They need the blood. Let me see when the last time they did it. Oh, here, you see here, I get from Mada. The last time I got it was, hold on, I'll tell you what. They send me a text message every time they're out here. Hello, we're in the middle of a class over here. This is an 18. So this is basically a few days ago. On the 18th of March, they sent me one that they were having a blood drive in a particular place. If you want, I'll let you know next time.
Yeah.
You have to go. You have Israeli ID yet?
Yeah.
Or no? You have Israeli ID, so you're good to go. Next time, I'll let you know when I get these messages. They
Donate
usually
some blood.
every week or so they'll have. It looks like an ambulance, but you go there, you fill out some papers, and they take a bunch of your blood and.
Will they give us a bed to lay down on?
You know, you lay down there. They have like a bed. You lay down. They do what they do, and they'll even give you a little like sweet drink.
Yeah. After that, you get a food, mango juice. I used to do this in college, Rabbi.
Yeah.
That if you go for a blood donation, you get 1 day off.
Yeah.
So all of the boys.
1 day off of college.
Yeah, 1 day off. Plus extra attendance.
When I was in New York, they used to actually. When I was in New York, they actually used to pay you like they used to give you like a meal at a restaurant in Crown Heights. They used to give you like a voucher for a meal at a restaurant if you gave blood. Huh? Well, the truth is, in I don't know about in Israel, but in America, they actually pay money. You could go to some place and they'll pay you like $60 to get a donation. What they do, like in Crown Heights, is that these organizations that usually they're good organizations, but it's a way of fundraising. So what do? They tell everybody. They basically call the company and they tell them, "Come, we'll get you a bunch of people to let blood," and the company will pay them like $60 a person, and they'll give you back a little. Some of them will give you a donut. Somebody will give them, a cup of orange juice. They'll give you a little bit of something for giving blood. And then they'll get the rest of the money. So when you donate money, when you donate blood, you're also like giving donation to whatever organization it is. That's the way it works in America. In Israel, everything's much more government controlled. We're I would say a semi-communist country in Israel, but I think we're more than semi. We're I would say 3/4 communist, and about 1/4 manages to get around with a normal democratic way. Everything's super controlled in Israel, super everything. A lot of power monopolies here in Israel, and hence why a lot of things are hard to get done because there's crazy bureaucracy. And there's a reason why, unfortunately, 1 out of 6 Israelis leave Israel. You should know that Israel, out of all, I've been in many countries, and I've never found people to be more patriotic than Israelis. Israelis are the most patriotic, most in love with their country, yet 1 out of 6 of them leave. Why? Because it's just so much easier to live anywhere else, except North Korea. North Korea may be a little harder, but I haven't heard of Israelis moving to North Korea. But it could be that that's part of God's challenge to the nation of Israel, is that we must. It's almost like you want your land back. Good. Well, then you have to put up with these insanely difficult situations. Again, I don't want to hash v'shalom put anybody down or scare anybody, but coming to yeshiva in Israel sometimes is like, yeah, it's nice and fun, but when you actually want to live life in Israel and build a family,
Rabbi, let's get back.
Not easy. This guy's like, dude, I'm ruining his whole dream of living in Israel. He thought it was like living the dream. Anyways, can I know that? Good. What? Yeah. Anyways, the shakil mazye v'loy mashiyode. Another thing that you better wash your hands if
You cut your hair.
one that cuts their hair, yeah. If you cut your hair and you don't wash your hands, mafchid tloisa tlasa yoimei, a person will have a phobia for 3 days straight. They
What
will
is
be
the
scared.
shocking?
Huh?
Shocking, what is
Shaka literally means like you take. Yeah.
If you don't
You
wash
take.
your hands after cutting your hair,
Correct. Meaning after you wash your hair, after you cut your hair, you better wash your hands. Otherwise, you're gonna have a 3-day phobia. A phobia of phobia. Okay.
a fear of being
A fear of fear. That's it.
Some fear. It'll say what the fear is.
Actually, we're gonna say later. I'm gonna give a spoiler alert, but it's gonna say later that it's a fear that they don't even know what you're afraid of. That's how
it means like
you're
wash
scared
your
of
hair.
basically nothing. Paranoia. Yeah, you're afraid of
I guess
everything.
It means like to wash with the washing cup.
Huh?
Not just like wash your hands with soap, like with the washing cup.
Could
With
be.
glass?
Could be. It could be.
Nagelwasser?
It could be like the way you should do it is like negavas. You should wash one. Huh? They
You
should.
carry with yourself a little one.
They should.
Am I able to walk back to my house and then do that? Is still fine? Is there a time date on it? What?
I don't know. It doesn't say. It doesn't say there is.
No, you
It
can
does
carry
not
a
say.
little one.
It does not say.
Robert, will you give us more haircuts on Fridays? You used to give us haircuts before, remember?
Yeah, it does not say. I'm sorry. It does not say how long you have after your haircut to do this. It doesn't say.
Oh, yeah? You good?
Huh?
Remember, you used to give us haircuts, Rabbi, before.
Yeah.
I think we can do the haircut here and wash here.
That's what you should do. No one should go to any barbers here.
Yeah,
I don't
we
like the
should
barber.
pay Rabbi
The barbers over here, in Israel, at least in Tzfas, they don't give you the good Hasidic haircuts. The good Hasidic haircuts is you take the machine, you just go zoom. That's it. It
Rabbi, like
goes
this?
straight.
What about
No,
mine?
one size fits all. That's it. The whole
What about
head.
mine, Rabbi?
So if you do a haircut with number 3, with a number 3 or higher, then you could do the whole head if you want.
What about Rabbi mine?
But if you do it with lower than a 3, then you have to leave area for the payas over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, for number 3.
What do you think about my haircut, Rabbi?
This is a Hasidic haircut.
Everyone.
This is a Hasidic haircut. Straight buzz. Nah, that's it. This is a serious Hasidic haircut.
Yeah.
You have to be able to. Yeah, it's kind of yeah. Anyways, let's go back here. Good. I've heard number 3. Vizel.
Like I had number 2 and
You want to ask a different rabbi? You could ask a different rabbi. I won't bite your nose for asking a different rabbi. You want to ask me? I say number 3 or higher. Okay. You want to find a different one that says number 2 or higher? Go for it. But until you find a rabbi, don't you dare use anything less than a 2 or less than a 3. Because I said 3. You want to use 2? You have to find a different. You have to use a different rabbi that can tell you otherwise.
Can I use a razor?
You're right, Rabbi. I think you need a haircut, Rabbi.
I do need a haircut. I should get a haircut. I'm saving it up a little bit because no, I'm gonna save this till like a day or 2 before Pesach because afterwards we don't cut our hair till Shavuos. A nice buzz cut. We'll give you like a 0 balding.
Right, if you're gonna do 0,
we'll do you like some of the Hasidic guys. They get a triple 0 on their whole head, and then they have like.
Rabbi, I want to get a 0.
That's the reverse phase.
Rabbi, I want to get a 0.
Huh? Yeah. 770 hug.
Rabbi, I want to get a
770
0.
cut. All right.
If you're gonna get a 0, I need to put the payas here.
If you get a 0, you have to cut like this whole area. You have to cut 3 or above, so it'll stick out a bit.
Rabbi, can you give me a 0?
Huh? You want me to give you a 0?
Yeah.
We'll speak about it. This guy.
What's the point? I don't know. Why do some people shave their heads?
Gross.
Like you said, like some people like will do like a 0, but then
Yeah.
like why shave? Is there a reason?
Don't ask me these questions. These Hasidic people. These
Like I don't know if that's
come up with some idea. They do it.
All right, let's go.
Let's continue.
Ma.
All right. So again, we said 2 things. Number 1 is if you bloodlet, you better wash your hands afterwards, or else you're gonna get a phobia for 7 days. If you take a haircut, you better wash your hands afterwards. If not, you get a phobia for 3 days. What?
I'm scared. Can't wash my hands.
The shakel tufrei v'moy mashiyadei.
Nails.
Yeah, if a person cuts their nails and doesn't wash their hands, mafkid chad yoyma, they will be afraid for 1 day. V'lo yoda mai kam mafkid, you're not going to know why you're afraid. So that's kind of the ending. We said 3 things. We said letting blood, cutting hair, cutting nails, right? Did we say anything else? No. Those 3 things, you better wash your hands afterwards. If you bloodletting, you don't wash hands, you could be afraid for 7 days. Hair cutting without washing hands is 3 days. And the third one is
Nails.
cutting your nails, which we said you only be afraid for 1 day. All right? Be careful to do this. Now, it does not say why this is the case. Huh? Huh? I don't know what you're talking about.
You have to.
No, I mean, I was terrified last time.
Last time what?
I forgot to wash my hands.
Yeah.
I was terrified.
That's scary. Anyways, he's laughing at me. Yoda asusya dargo lefachado. Again, these are something about a horse, but let's see, what does this say?
Horse.
Placing your hands. Oh no, asusya is not a horse. It's on your nostrils, right? There's a way to become afraid. Huh? Asusya is basically if you pick your nose, you're gonna be afraid. Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah, you ever see those guys? They pick their nose and they get so afraid they pick their nose again, and then they stay afraid because they're constantly picking their nose. I would assume that's why they're always picking their nose. You have these people always picking their nose. Yeah. Anyways, I do pick my nose sometime too. You know.
Is that about boulders? Boulders?
Placing your hands on one's hands on her nostril is a way to become afraid. It says Yoda apusya darga lishinosa. If a person puts their hand on their forehead, it is a way to going to sleep. So if you want to go to sleep, you go like this. Oh yeah, it does do that. No, go like this.
It just said that.
Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah, put your hand on your forehead. It is a way to fall asleep. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, good. Now we're going to go on to some more superstitious concepts over here. Tana oichlin umashkin tachas. Oh, this, by the way, you're going to see in Shulchan Aruch. Apparently, this is a real serious halacha. If you have food or drink under your bed, afilu mechupin bechli barzel, even if they are covered in vessels of metal, ruach ra shoida aleihem, an evil spirit rests on them. And by the way, this actually says in Shulchan Aruch, if you ever had food under your bed, do not eat it. I don't care if it's in a bottle. I don't care if it's sealed. I don't even care if it's closed in a metal safe. Do not eat the food that was under your bed. Seemingly, if I believe in Shulchan Aruch, it says if you went to sleep there, not if you like physically put it under your bed, but if it was under your bed while you're sleeping, because while you're sleeping, there's an evil spirit that comes and rests on a body when they're sleeping. And therefore, when you're sleeping, if there's food under you, this evil spirit will go into that food, even if the food is covered in metal vessels.
Like, there's an entity that lays on me when I sleep.
It hangs out there. I don't know what it does. I haven't.
On me, or
I don't know. But there is a evil spirit that hangs around a body when it is sleeping, and it will implant itself in the food that is under the bed while you're sleeping. Yes, do not eat that. By the way, I get very nervous. Thank God my house is with a lot of people running around, and these little people running around are very good at bringing food everywhere, right? If you ask me where is food kept in your house, I said in every single room. right? Every single spot in every single room. It's possible to find food there, right? The kid grabs a sandwich and walks all over the place, and before you know it, it's all over the place, right? Whoa is right. So, what? Little people are usually kids are usually little people. Let me just to get he's this wacko American who knows what that they convince people that the worst thing in their life ever to do is to have kids, right? That's what people think.
Oh yeah,
I'm
bro,
gonna
you're
tell
in big
you.
trouble now, bro. You're in big trouble. No, you
I'm
don't.
gonna tell you,
No, you don't, bro.
as a Baruch Hashem, an experienced parent, I can tell you.
You're in trouble, bro. Yeah.
Coming at you. No, there is this saying, oh my gosh, you're going to have kids, you're going to be tied down, and you're never going to be able to do anything. You're going to be this depressed thing. Well, tied down, absolutely. Very hard to move around with kids. The fact that you'll be settled also. However, I will tell you that there is no true joy that a person will ever experience more than their children. However, there's more, very often it comes with a price. I tell people just like everything valuable comes at a price, right? You want to buy a good iPhone, it costs you a couple $100, right?
Is that an iPhone?
It's not an iPhone. I bought the cheap one. This is Samsung, right? This if I would buy the equivalent to iPhone of this, it would be about 10 times more. This is about $300 in Israel. In other places, it's even less, right? In Israel, it's about $300. And the iPhone is in Israel is about $2,000. Very expensive.
It's like that for most electronics, actually.
Yeah, Israel has horrible taxes with everything, anything coming from overseas, crazy taxes. As a matter of fact, I will not suggest that you do anything illegal, but if you were, let's just say, hey, quiet. Let's just say hypothetically, you were in America and you bought yourself a iPhone and you came to Israel, which you're allowed to because you're allowed to bring it back for your own personal use.
Yeah.
And then let's just say you change your mind after you get to Israel, you can sell it for $200-300 profit here in Israel.
Wow. New business, Rabbi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People do it. Now the problem is some people what they'll do is they'll buy like 4 or 5 of them. They'll come and the government will just take it. If they find it, they'll take it away. No, because they'll take it. They'll take it.
And then you pay
I don't know what they do. I think some of them they take it.
they take
Yeah.
it. That's corrupt. That guy in the airport.
Yeah.
Go back to America and sell it for a profit.
What do you mean from Israel?
Yeah, they buy watches here.
Why Israel's cheaper watches than America?
Yeah.
Yeah, for some things it's
And then you get tax money also, and then you sell it also in America. That's my friends did. They made and they would
I don't know.
meet the guys bring it over and they made a bunch of money.
Kid, I know that.
That's
I know a lot of people that did this thing not legally, but they would go back and forth. They made some nice money. I actually once made one time. I bought an iPad, not an iPad, like a computer, a book. What's it called? MacBook. I bought a MacBook in America, and for some reason, it came with these earphones for free. It was like a deal they had. It came with some fancy earphones, right? I actually was not interested. I didn't want such fancy earphones because I'm not one of those dudes that walk around with these big fat earphones like go like over the. Right? I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of those guys. So I had this like a good one of the real expensive type of earphones. I had one of these in a box with the cover and everything. And I came to Israel. I sold it. I made quite a bit of money.
Oh, you have a question.
Is it the over-ear headphones?
Oh.
Oh, who is this
Daniel
guy?
Henry
Yeah,
Thomas. Awesome is
This
good stuff.
This guy's getting scary.
Ooh.
He showed it.
Should we tell him? Yeah, you could show it. Why not? We got an interesting question from our friend Daniel Henry Thomas that he's asking about a particular name that he's probably heard, that I'm not even going to mention it, but it is in fact an angel. It's not a demon, it's an angel. And one of the ways of knowing the name of an angel, anything that ends in an el, if there's a name like Raphael, Daniel, what's the other one? Gabriel. All these ones are angels, right? They're angels. Now, the fact that this one ends in an el means it's an angel. As a matter of fact, literally what it means that the poisonous angel. Actually, the first Sam is like a poison, right?
You're an angel, Rabbi.
So Sam is a no. So that is he's asking about the Samach Mem. The Samach Mem is actually the acronym for that name there. Anyways, let's get rid of this thing. Boom. That's it. Anyways, yes. Samach Mem is the shortened version of that name. Yeah. Because we don't even want to mention it, so we call it the Samach Mem. We don't want to mention it by its full name.
In charge of stuff.
It is what many people will call the Satan.
Wow.
The Satan, I know they sometimes they use the term devil. I'm not sure where the term devil comes from. I think it's
chief prosecutor.
It's the chief. It's the DA. Yeah. Yeah.
My mom.
The chief. No, they actually say no, but it's even worse because the Samach Mem is actually he's the prosecutor, but he also is the one that entices the person to do it. So he entices you to do it, and then says,
So
"Look
it's
at
a
this."
prosecutor who's in cohorts with the offending criminal.
Put it this way: imagine if the police went around like selling drugs and kind of pushing the, they were the drug pushers. They would no, not planned. No, not planned.
No, it's selling.
Let's say the police would be walking around. Hey, you want to buy some drugs? And you'd be like, no, I'm not interested in drugs. You'd be like, come on, man, you got to really try it. And then you're like, oh, okay, you know what? I'll try it. And they're like, you're under arrest. That's kind of what that angel does. That's what that angel does. Yeah. What
Like
happens?
in America, that happens.
That what? Not necessarily. No, it's not true. It's not true. Stings are usually a true sting is actually built to catch somebody that is a true sting is built to catch people that are not that are actually doing crime, right? Which means that yes, sometimes they'll act as drug dealers, this and that, but they're not going to try to find an innocent person and convince them to do a criminal act. They're going to basically look to catch a criminal doing it. Does it really?
Yeah.
It's really not meant to happen.
Yeah,
The police, put it this way, officially the police are not meant to try to entice you to do a crime. What they very often do is they'll be around in a place that they know that you would, a person that's doing a crime, they'll try to catch.
There's a case in Florida where like this policewoman pretended she was like, I don't know, maybe like 22 or something like this. She pretended to be a high schooler.
Yeah.
Right. She went to high school.
Yeah.
And, like, as a kid, even though she was older.
Yeah.
It was honestly the weirdest thing. She pretended to be in a relationship with this high school kid.
Yeah.
And then convinced him to sell her drugs. And then once he sold her drugs, then
but again, did she convince him to sell her drugs, which means that this guy was never selling drugs before, or did she convince him to sell her drugs because he was selling drugs to everybody else, and she was just trying to build enough trust that she would sell to him? You understand? It's a big difference. It's a big difference when a police does a sting. Usually, that's the way they do it. Like they know the person's selling, so you have to gain enough trust that they're going to sell to you, because if they don't trust you, they won't sell to you. So they build enough trust, but it's not like the police is going to go over to some random teenager and says, by the way, you could start dealing drugs, and if you go to this mobster, he'll sell you drugs, and like let's convince you to start getting involved in crime so that we can then catch you. But the Satan actually does that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Samach Mem is like an FBI informant, basically.
What's that?
Samach Mem is like
So he's asking another question about this Samach Mem over here. Very interesting. This is true or written somewhere that he will do tshuva before the Messianic age. It doesn't seem like the angel, Samach Mem angel, it doesn't seem like he really has free choice. So he can't decide to do tshuva because he doesn't have free choice. Yeah.
He's doing his job.
He's doing his job. He has a job, a very devious job.
Not necessarily bad. He's just doing his job.
It's a good question. Well, the Alter Rebbe writes in Tanya that a person that sins is much worse than the most evil of angels, including that angel, because that angel has a job and is doing what God wants, whereas a person that sins is going against what God wants. Yeah. Anyways, let's get away from these demonic, evil, destructive
That could
angels.
explain why many of the defenses against demonic attack that we went over in the last couple weeks, were not so effective against witchcraft attack, right? Because you got a human being involved who's, right?
Huh?
What you just said kind of explains why many of the things we said about opening yourself up for demonic attack didn't count for witchcraft.
Right. Again, there's a demonic attack, there's witchcraft, and then there's the angel. All right. Let's continue. We got a couple more things that we're going to teach you today to be careful from. Tonu Rabbanon. By the way, here's the first time in a while that we have a serious keyword. Tonu Rabbanon basically tells us that we're going to quote a brisa of which we will begin a new discussion. Tonu Rabbanon, the rabbis taught as follows: Lo yishta adam mayim. A person should not drink water, not on the evening going into Wednesday, and not in the evening going into Shabbos. The im shasa damei beroishay, and if a person drinks at these times, their blood is on their head. Mipnei sakona, because it is dangerous to drink water. Now the question is, does it literally mean just drinking water? Is that what it says? Yeah.
Drink water.
Yeah.
What's the problem with drinking water?
What's the problem with drinking water?
Yeah, a person should not drink water on Tuesday nights and or on, it says Saturday nights, but it really means Friday nights.
Friday nights and
Why can't we drink water?
Huh?
Why can't we drink water?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It says you got to be careful. The Rashbam writes as follows, that this rule only applies if there's no light in the dark. Yeah. On these two nights, which is basically Tuesday night and Friday night, do not drink water. This guy's sitting here with a cup of water. He's like, it's only Sunday. It's Sunday. Calm down. Yeah. Don't drink water on Tuesday nights and Friday nights. And if a person does, their blood is on their head because of the danger that it will cause. So the Rashbam says only if there's no light. That's what the Rashbam. The Rashbam says this. We're gonna get there.
Only whiskey.
Yeah.
Only whiskey.
My sakona. The Gemara, the Talmud asks, what is the danger that we're talking about? It says ruach ra, an evil spirit that hangs out in the water at those times. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Do not drink water in the dark on Tuesday nights and on Friday nights.
Wait, so dark.
Huh? No, it says Leile Shabbos, which is the Leila, but it's really the night going into Shabbos and the night going into Wednesday.
Wait, in the
which
dark,
is Tuesday night and Friday.
In the dark, meaning no candlelight or no light.
So that's a good question. It says without. Let's see.
Like you'd have to be
Here it says without a candle. It says without a candle. However, it could mean without light, because in those days, if you were in the night, the only way to have light in the night was with a candle. So it could mean in the dark.
But I would
light.
suggest that maybe in modern times, especially here and probably at your house, it's rare you're going to be in a situation where you have less light than a candlelight.
100%. So that could be a good reason why you don't see a bunch of people dropping dead from drinking water on Wednesday. Why? Because we have a lot of light wherever you are. By the way, today in today, if you're living in a city, you're almost always going to be anywhere in the city. You're going to be in a place that has more light than candlelight.
Yeah, more than a candle.
The only way in a
Candle's
city,
not that
the only way in a city to have less light than candlelight is if you literally like have a house where you kind of like are in a room with it's all closed up.
What if it's like
The only
Shabbos
way.
night, in the middle of the night, I want to drink some water?
Huh?
What if it's like Shabbos night? Friday night, I'm sleeping. And
So I hope you have candles there.
in my
Otherwise,
room,
you got a problem. Now, the Gemara is going to actually discuss what to do.
See the cup of water, you're gonna stare at
The im tsochi mai takante. So the Gemara asks, what's if you're thirsty? Look, we have David over here says, what's if I'm thirsty? In the middle of the night, I want to drink and there's no light, there's no
Yeah.
candle.
Yeah.
Especially on Shabbos, I'm not allowed to even turn on a candle. I'm not allowed to turn on a light. So what am I going to do if I'm thirsty and it's dark and I want to drink? What should you do? Yochanan Baruch, you're a serious Kabbalist here. What do you do? He says, Yes, Yitzchak says, make habrocha. Ma habrocha, shahakil niya b'dvorei.
That's it?
Huh? So the Gemara says as follows: Nemo shiva koili she'amar David alamayim. You should say the 7 voices that David said on the water. If you know, there was a story when David was building the temple. It says that there was David Amelch when he was building the temple.
He wasn't there when he built the temple.
He was getting ready. He was preparing. He prepared for the temple's building. And at a certain point, he wanted to set something up, and he found this water gushing, and he wanted to stop it, right? There's a whole story. It's said in Medrash. I'm not going to get into it. He wanted to stop this water from gushing, and he said 7. He said 7 koilos, which actually we say every Friday night. Koilash, yeah. V'hadar nishti. So if you first say these 7 koilos, and then you drink, you'll be protected. That's what it says. What are they? Shenemar. Koil Hashem al amoyim ela kol rev ki yirim. Hashem al mayim rabim. Koil havaya b'koyach, koil havaya b'hodar, koil havaya yeshiv rarozim. Vayishaber havayis arze al vonoin. Koil Hashem choytzev lahavoyzesh. Koil Hashem yochil midbar. Yochil Havaya midbar kodesh. Koil Havaya yichol layolois. Vayechasov yeoreis. Uveichaloy kule yoimer kavoid. Yeah, it is Kalibach. I don't sing Kalbach on Shabbos. I can't sing it. It's a weekday for me, you know. Kalbach. Yeah. So we shouldn't sing it even in the weekday. There's a Kalbach vibe that just doesn't resonate with me. No. There we go. And that's why the whole week they don't learn. I think that I'm telling you, I think that there is a correlation. There's a correlation between people that are in love with Kalbach, and that it's almost like Kalbach brings out this firing love for Judaism, and then once you love it, you don't got to do anything else. It's like this laziness. It has this laziness. Again, I'm not blaming the author. I'm not blaming the whatever. We can go into various different issues that I have with Kalbach himself. However, the vibe of the music, and I'm a very musical guy. Those of you know that I composed. I have some music videos out there. Yes, you could. You look at Shmuel Halevi. Shmuel Halevi is my YouTube channel.
Have you met him?
Shmuel Halevi has a YouTube channel. You can see, I think, three or four music videos. I don't remember how many put up.
Have you met Kalibach?
But no, I never met him. So I'm not going to get into the details. I'm not going to get into the details of his personality and what my issues are with his personality. But I'm telling you that as a musician, I feel the vibe of his music. The vibe of his music is.
Look at this guy.
Is this you?
What does it look like?
Bro, you should make more music, bro. Show it to the viewers.
Well, they can look at themselves. It's a Shmuel Halevi. Shmuel Halevi. Hey, wait a second. Wait a second. Why are you're on the wrong one? Where are you? No, you're on the one that's just vocals. I have a video with me dancing. What are you? No, come here. You have to go to the channel. You have to go to the channel. You just got the vocal ones. There's a vocal one.
It's a good one, bro.
Yeah, you got the vocal ones, but you could go Shmuel Halevi as a YouTube channel, and you can see the videos. But go to the channel and then look for the video. Yeah. Huh? I don't know what you're talking about. Again, the music itself, in my humble opinion, is like a druggy type of drunken feeling. It's like, yeah, you're just like floating and everything's good. Don't have to do anything. Everything's fine. That's that. And I've actually seen a correlation between people that are serious Kalbach fans and people that like acting Jewish and not actually doing anything about it. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to mention who, but there was a massive Kalbach fan from Tzvas. I'm not going to say who, but there's a guy who you'd go every Friday night. You see him dancing Kalbach. You think he's a religious Jew. He's keeping Torah and mitzvahs, right? One time I actually was in a certain place in Tzvas, and there was some tourists there. And so I offered the tourists to put on tefillin, and they put on tefillin, and he was around there. And as a joke, I said, "Did you put on tefillin today?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Whoa!" I was like shocked. I said, "When was the last time you put on tefillin?" He's like, "I don't know, a couple of years ago." The guy's mom is not religious, and he sits there when it comes to Kabbalah. Huh? You could argue that is actually why he does nothing, right? He does nothing because he thinks that now he's so close to God because he sings Kalbach and he has this. It's like drugs, just like drugs. It makes you feel that you're all so cool and you're really not. Okay, that's what drugs does. When a person has drugs, they think they're especially pot. These people, you ever see these people after they smoke cannabis? They think they're God's gift to the world. They start talking as if they're, and they're one big nothing. They don't do nothing. They're not worth nothing. They could go home. No one cares about them, right? But they're one big nothing, and they think they're everything, right? Yeah. No, Chas v'shalom. Why would I talk about you? You're a holy Jew.
Holy Jew.
But anyways, I'm getting a little bit too.
Excited.
Yeah.
No.
Right now, Yosef Yisrael believes me when I told him Friday night that I actually started that song. The song that I told you that I started him in camp, that song actually was part of another song. I didn't produce it yet. I made it a long time ago, but no, that you must was actually, it was part of a different one of my songs. I didn't make a video of it. Causation. I think it's causation. No, I didn't make that song. The truth is, that song is older than me. No, it was actually before it. They actually took it. The Lido's machine took it from somebody who was even before. Yeah.
Rabbi, this is your song?
Purim. That was my song. Anyways, why are we hacking at trying to about my songs? And all these people online, they want to learn some Talmud, and we're learning everything else. Except, anyways, again, I know how we got into this. Because we said that if a person is extremely thirsty on Wednesday night or Friday night, and they want to drink and there's no light, they need to say the 7 voices over water that David said in Psalms, which you can find in Psalm 29. Psalm 29, you'll see a list of this. He starts out with Koil Hashem al Hamayim. He's saying the voice of God over water. You basically you could say that whole chapter. If you say the whole chapter 29 of Psalms, you're doing well. Then you can drink. I have no clue. I didn't write this. Okay. The Gemara, the Talmud. It does not say it doesn't work, but I would assume. I mean, what I would assume it would mention if it did, because otherwise, usually moonlight.
All
Anyway,
right, let's go.
let's continue a little bit more, and then we're gonna break for the day. Yeah. Now it says if you are unable for whatever reason you're unable to say these psalms. I don't know, maybe you don't know how to read Hebrew, or maybe you know how to read Hebrew but you don't have the Tehillim in front of you. There could be various reasons. It doesn't actually say why. Like what why would, I don't get it. Why would it be an issue? Somehow somebody might have an issue with saying these with saying this. Eloi Nemo he should say as follows. Lul shafon anigrun anirdefin. Ben koichve yasvina. Ben blie shemene azlino. That's what he should say. It's basically
That's easy, more easier. Right?
Rashi says it's a lachash. It's like a whisper. Meaning it's some type of a thing to say. Yeah.
Rabbi, it's much more easier. Right? Rather than reciting the whole chapter, you say Lul, Shafan, Ani Guru, Ani Tafsir. Why are we reciting demons' name?
Apparently, you're telling the demons that there are skinnier people to eat than you. Yeah. I don't know why, but that's what it says. Let's read what it says over here. I sit between the stars. Hey, quiet! Shh.
Too much hacking and
I
sound.
sit between the stars. I walk between thin and fat people. Take any of them you wish, but leave me alone. That's what it says. No, whichever one. You want the fat guys, say the fat. Meaning there's people fatter than me, there's people skinnier than me. But if you like skinny people, you got them. If you got fat people, there's fatter than me. I'm in the middle, leave me alone. So that's what it says. Why? I have no idea, but that's that. Yeah. Again, if you cannot say the voices on the water, right? The Psalms that I told you, you should say as follows. Lul shafan anigrun anirdefin. And Rashi says these are actually names of demons. The words that I just said are names of demons. You'd say, Ben koichve yasvina. I am sitting between the stars. Ben beli ushmini. I am between skinny and fat people. Azlina, leave me alone. Azlina means leave me alone, because if you want fat people, there's fatter than me, and if you want skinny, there's skinnier than me, so leave me alone.
Wait, means skinny?
Apparently so. It does not say that you have to be fatter or skinnier. This is what you're telling the demons. It's a good question. You have a good question on the Gemara?
Man is making a good point.
There's fatter and there's skinnier. Whichever, in other words, whichever one you want, go get it. Yeah, maybe it's dark. Exactly, it's dark. Maybe they can't see. So maybe while they're going to look for these fat people, you're like, I drank the water and that's done. Could be. Could be. Could be. Now it says ika inish bahadei. But what happens if there's no? Hold on a second. What happens if for some reason you have trouble doing either one? You have trouble the earlier one or this one. So now it says if there are people around him, nis ar'e. He should wake him up. He should wake him up. He should wake the guy that's sleeping. If there's somebody next to him, he should wake him up. And he should say as follows: Planya bar plansa. So and so, the son of so and so is, meaning him, the son of his mother. Sachina maya. I am thirsty for water. V'hadar nishki. And then he should drink. Meaning he should, if there's a person next to him, he should wake the guy up and he should say his name and his mother's name. He says, I thirst for water. And then he could drink. Which means that somehow the very fact that he's mentioning that he's waking somebody up and somebody else, I guess if somebody else is going to be awake together with him when he's drinking the water, it might actually protect him.
Rabbi, this is Matisyahu.
Matisyahu.
Let's check out our class. This is Rabbi Kopel.
He was here before.
Everybody, this is Matisyahu.
Yeah. Matisyahu was here before, and I'm sure he's going to be here after too. Bezrat Hashem. Yeah. The Eloi, what happens if there's no one next to him? Yeah. If there's no one next to him, what should he do? Mikarkesh? No, if he can't do any of the above and there's no one there.
Why, Rabbi?
Mikarkesh is you should like bang. Mikarkesh nichtemo achatzba v'hoda nishti. He should basically take the cover of whatever he's using, whatever vessel he's using. He should bang the cover on the vessel. It's kind of bang it. I guess by banging the cover on the vessel, he's going to scare away this demon who's going to run away.
Right, what does a demon looks like? Any indication?
I never met one, so I can't tell you.
Come on, Rob.
At least I didn't know I met one. Maybe I met one, but I didn't know that I met one. You know?
Different demons look like different things.
Yeah.
I think I met one. I met one that was half Japanese, half Filipino.
All right, one last thing, and then we're going to go. Basically, you take the cover of the cup, right, and you bang it. You knock it on the cup. Yeah. The Eloi, what happens if you have a cup without a cover, or you have no way to do that? Nishti ba midi v'hadar nishti. What you should do is he should throw an object into the water.
What?
Yeah. So let's say you have a cup. There's no cover. If you have a cup and there's a cover, you bang the cover on the cup, and the evil spirit says, "Uh-oh, what's going on there? Get out of here."
Goes out of the water.
Yeah, it runs away. The other way is if you don't have a cover to the cup, just take any object and throw it into the water. Right? All of a sudden, this demon's hanging out in the water in the swimming pool, and all of a sudden, this thing plops in. He's like, "I'm getting out of here. I'm out."
Like a pebble.
Huh?
I don't think demons eat olives.
Do demons eat olives?
Source.
It's your source, man.
What's this sauce, brah?
What are you smoking?
You said he was going to run away. How do you know he's going to run away?
I'm possessed. I got possessed by a demon, bro. I think possessed.
Did you knock on the cup? Did you knock on the cup? Yeah. Anyways, good. Right. So that's what we're going to deal with till today. Bezrat Hashem will continue to tomorrow. We have a few superstitions. And tomorrow, Bezrat Hashem, we're already going to get to the next part. We're going to speak very, very briefly about Pesach once again, which is the topic we're meant to be speaking about. And then within a few lines, we're going to go back to the spooky stuff. I don't know why the Gemara got hooked. The Gemara is like hooked on the spooky stuff. It's like I gotta speak about the spooky stuff. See, that's what demons do to you. You're trying to do one thing, all of a sudden they get you involved. What? With all the commentaries.
You can't actually look at stuff with what's alone. You're going to find out everything else except for yourself.
Anyways, good question.
The Rambam.
Yeah.
Before the show, tomorrow with the Rambam. So that's why you remember everything.
I remember everything. I wish I did.
You know the entire Gemara inside the
I wish I did. Anyways, we're going to open up for questions. If anybody has questions on topic, please feel free to ask. If you're one of those people online that I see a couple numbers over here, we're on a few different platforms. Yeah. We do have some people from different platforms here. If you put a comment in the comments, if you put a comment in your comments, then if you put a comment in your comment in any of the whichever platform you're on, if you put a comment on, then we will see it live. And if you put this in now, we might actually deal with your questions. If it's somewhat relevant to this discussion, if it's just some random, why is your beard black? It's not. It's gray already. Look at this. My wife is complaining. No, yeah. Getting old. I'm old. No, I'm not 45 yet. No. Then I'm not old. How old is old? When does a person start becoming 50 is like old? Oh, you need to have gallbladder. What's if you're 80 and you don't have gallbladder issues? You're not old. Only if you have gallbladder issues, then you're old. Huh? 50? What do you mean? What are you talking? 50? 50, you're almost definitely halfway dead. Yeah. Most people don't live to 100. Very few people live to 100. Why? That's actually very young these days. Yeah. Why? You don't want to. You don't want. That's it. 65 is all you got. After that, you're like, leave me alone. Huh? You let me know then. 0 to 20, yeah. 20. By the way, there's truth to that. But according to Torah, from 20 to 50 is basically your working years. And in the ancient Israel, they were actually in the army from 20 to 50. They were in the army. That doesn't mean they were full time. Today in the army, they have like full time soldiers. They get paid. That's only because in our generation, we really have a lot of access to resources that they didn't have in the olden days. In the olden days, many armies were built out of volunteers that would only get together if there was a war. A little bit like in Israel. In Israel, officially, they have something like 600,000-700,000 soldiers, 700,000 soldiers they have, but most of them are not active duties. They start out. Right. I'm saying is that active duty in Israel, I think they have like 60,000 soldiers. Right. And what happens is that after they finish active duty, they stay on till they're about 56 years old. Although I heard in Israel, they never kick you out of the army. I heard that October 7th, you had like these 90-year-old guys walking around with guns. Like they're like, I'm coming to the army, nothing better to do. Nothing. Has no business, has no nothing. He's coming in.
I think Rabbi, we should go. Why to the army? Good idea.
I feel like he fired the M16.
Wait, M16 is actually one of the easier ones. They have this big sniper rifle. I forgot what it's called. Thick bullets. They say that it's like what? What? I don't know. I once met an Israeli soldier, a sniper, and he showed me the bullet, and I couldn't believe it was actually going out of like a handgun. It was like that thick. It was like not a handgun, like a rifle. Like he was showing. He told me that there's this piece. He said that the bullet actually creates something like 500 pounds of backlash, and they have this thing in the front that they have. If you ever see in the front of the sniper rifles, sometimes they have like this metal piece that kind of goes out. It's like this a little bit, like a. No. The end of the gun has like these metal things that come out like this, and it basically what it does is that when the bullet shoots out, the pressure, it shoots it. But because it shoots it to the side, it pulls it forward to fight the back. Meaning instead of all the pressure going back, that puts pressure going forward too. Right? It's almost like a jet when they reverse the engine, right? So it basically takes away like 300 pounds. So it only turns into like 200 pounds of pressure instead of 500 pounds of pressure, which is still pretty powerful. The guy told me he had like this thick pad that they used to put on their shoulder when they shot, and he said that if they didn't have that, they would break their shoulder every shot. Yeah. Let me see. This is yours? You use this?
I have used it.
No, this is just like this is a machine gun, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, here. Here, yeah, there you go. We have this guy, one of our students. He's one of the people involved in this genocide in Gaza.
I don't even care about that.
Yes.
Rabbi, what's your gun? By the way, that's the gun.
I don't have a gun.
Rabbi, you can apply for one.
How were they able, sages from the Talmud, to learn exactly what to do? Good question. It's a good question. I have no way to answer that question because. Yeah.
No, that thing is
Yeah. Texas, you buy anything. That's it. You can buy an atom bomb probably in Texas. You know, you pay enough money. You go to the store. No background check. No background checks. You could be nuts. You could go into the store and buy an atom bomb. That's it.
Go to Texas, Rabbi.
In
Let's go
Texas.
to Texas.
Yeah, you ever saw those cowboys with those big backpacks on their shoulders?
Yeah.
That's the atom bomb in the back.
Texas
They're
Rangers.
walking around with
Texas Texas Rangers. I think we should go to Texas, Rabbi.
Every time I meet a guy from Texas, I ask him, how many guns do you have? And by the way, it's true. You lived in Texas, right?
Yeah, I moved down.
How many guns do you own?
Oh, I had some time moved Michigan
Huh?
before I came here, but
He had to sell.
When you lived in Texas, how many guns did you own?
at one time I had about 7 or 8.
7.
Whoa! 7 or 8. That's small. That's small.
Yeah, this guy's like I'm one of the amateurs. I'm the amateur. I only had 7 guns. You know?
Yeah, that's how you have my uncle for the guns. And I'm from Texas. It's like how you have a wine cellar here. You have a gun in Texas.
It's like every house in Texas can arm an entire army platoon. What's a platoon? Platoon is a small group. No, what's the small group like 10, 20 or platoon is like 10, 20 guys. Yeah.
You're in the army?
There you go. So again, in Texas, you could arm a platoon and yeah. Anyways,
Oh yeah. It's like a marine or what?
No, that's like in charge. Like I was probably over like 100 people.
Wow.
but what in charge of what? What were you in charge of?
When I was in the ship, I was in the Navy.
Oh, you were in the Navy.
Yeah, and I switched over to the Army.
So the Navy, you were driving a boat, or you didn't know you
No,
drive.
I didn't drive shit. I was in charge of firefighting, launching aircraft.
Whoa.
You were on an aircraft carrier?
Yeah, I was in Ronald Reagan.
Were you one of those guys that go like this?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that was you.
Shooting off the aircraft.
I always like, if there's any job in the army that I would want, I would like that job. You know, like you just stand there.
But it's dangerous. It's like it's more dangerous than infantry.
All right, we have a security.
There you go. No, this guy knows how to tell the planes.
Yeah. No, the yeshiva requires.
No, standing on the top of the aircraft carrier. It's like, anyways, that's it.
Huh?
Listen, I've killed, I've been stabbed, I've been blown up.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't take, and then I'm from the ghetto too. I'm from the ghetto. So
I hope you weren't stabbed in the ghetto.
well, yeah.
You were stabbed in the
I
ghetto?
pistol whipped in the 5th grade.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
Yeah. So like I grew up in the hood, the project. So where I am, I'm real kind and I'm for peace. Because
Right.
if somebody's not for peace, I was saying, if you don't let me walk away, I'm not gonna let you crawl away. And the situation might not be that serious. So I don't want to do security. I'm smile. It might not be that serious, but I might be 5 or 6 stabs in before you see what I'm saying? So now if it's some security for some Arabs, yeah, no problem. We would shoot them and toss them off the mountain with George Bush in Afghanistan, because I switched over to the army. And like if they yeah, George Bush was in. And so like, the Taliban, they come.
I'm recording my job.
Yeah.
We don't have to show the picture.
It's the open secret. I mean, George W. Bush was in. War crimes is a standard operating procedure at the time. Until you remember Guantanamo Bay?
Yeah.
Then they started calming down. But before then, It was just, we did what we had to do.
No, war is war, you know?
Yeah, we caught them. If you killed one of our guys or something, we pretend like, oh no, you're good. No, that guy, he was a bad guy. Don't worry about it. Then we take him to the top of the mountain up there. Well, you all right? Rub him back, and then we stab him in the butt and stick dynamite in it, and then light it, throw him over there, watch him go.
So that's how you got
But that's how you have to do Muslims, because they believe in your strength. So if I'm showing them I'm stronger than you, and they see they wrong.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
That's how they agree.
Bro, we had two boys that practiced
Incriminate, serious incriminating.
That's why I'm trying to be right now in the hood,
Yeah.
the streets. Judaism is a new favorite thing that black people.
They do. It's actually popular these days.
Yeah, because we found out as a community that Christianity is false. Like
Right.
so everybody wants to convert to Judaism. So this
And I didn't actually know that. There's a lot of black people like trying to. I know a few black converts, but you're saying there's a movement.
There's a lot, yeah, but it's an open opportunity.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to convert.
I'll tell you what I noticed, and I don't know if it's 100% true, but what I noticed is that black people that convert, say, to Christianity, very often they feel like, okay, Christianity is like this religion, and it's too big, so they don't really feel like. Very often, like you'll have, okay, there's the black Christian community, whereas in Jews, the Jewish community is like if a person is black and they join the Jewish community, they kind of feel like they're part of the Jewish community. They don't feel like they're something separate. Like in Christianity, very often the blacks feel like they're black Christians, but they don't feel like the whites accept them as one of them, right? In Judaism, not. And again, I don't want to say we're 100% innocent. You haven't been around for that long. You might get some people that will say something, but it's different. It's different. It's not going to be. It's not the same way. Like I think that the whites. It depends which whites, but I think some whites in America, they look at themselves as superior to the blacks. In the Jewish community, it'll usually, like, if I've seen teasing and even sometimes racial comments, but it doesn't come from a place of superior. It's almost like, listen, I want to tease you. Like, if a guy has a pimple on his head, I'm going to say, oh, there's a pimple on his head. If a guy's faces look different, I'll say his face look different. But it's not coming from a place of like, I'm better than you. It's coming from a place that I'm looking for an excuse to tease you. Yeah. Right.
The whole world hates
Yeah.
us folks. Black people and Jewish people.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you feel like black Christians? Once you educate yourself and find out, like the first slave ship they sent to Africa was called JC.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know
So
that.
once you
It's the
find out-
initials for their leader, for that Jewish guy. We have an interesting question over here. I get this a lot. Alexander Gregory Muller says, what about the black Hebrews or the black Israelites? So I'll tell you what, I've said this before. I've actually met a lot of these people. There's a group of people, they call themselves black Hebrews. No, black Hebrews or black Israelites. It is actually a religion that was made up literally a few hundred, not even a few hundred. I think it was like 40, 50 years ago. They basically decided it was a very twisted belief, because I spoke to these people. I grew up in Crown Heights, and there were some of these guys running around, and they used to what's it called? They used to hang out, and they used to try to tell us that they were the real Jews and we were the fake Jews. So I said, how do you know you're Jewish? So their argument is that they made some quasi references to various places in the Bible where it may suggest that some Jewish people were dark skinned. And so they said, so therefore, since the Jews were dark skinned, therefore blacks are Jews. But I said, you're missing one important point. Africa was full of people when Israel was there, right? What do you think? What do you think? There was Israel and then the whole Africa was empty until the Jews left? No, Africa was full of people who were blacks. So how do you know you're from, even if the original Israelites were black, which is probably not the case. They were darker, but they were not black. They were, I think, more like the Yemenite. I think the Yemenites are kind of what the ancient Israelis looked like, which they were darker skinned, like some of the Arabs, because the Arabs and the Jews were somewhat interrelated. Abraham and Ishmael, etc. Right. So again, the argument, even if there's an argument, I would say there's an argument, there's not evidence. Even if you want to make an argument that the ancient Israelites were black, that doesn't prove that every black that exists was an Israelite.
Yeah, I can say
right?
how this got started. So like my family, it's black, like Creole.
Yeah.
Creole people have Jewish origins.
Yeah.
There's Christopher Columbus. So there's black people named Cohen, Levin, Samuel,
Yeah.
Stuff like this that have somewhat traditions. Well, slavery took everybody's name and everybody's traditions and they packed up the Christian Bible just with slavery references and had us believe that. So by the time, like for instance, my parents don't have a high school education. I had to educate on my own. So I'm one of the pioneers of young education in the community.
Right.
So by the time you come from this church stuff and you find out it's all lies, and the only story you can relate to is the Israelites coming out of it, you can relate to that. So you're like, I want to be these people. I want to be part of this because you have a blank sheet of paper in your head until you go and you take it to your community or wherever it is. So there's two sides of Hebrew Israelites. There's a side that they follow the 1611 King James Bible and they think they're Jews and some crazy stuff and they're maniacs. And then the other side, they follow the Safari app.
Safari what?
Safari app.
Safari.
Yeah. The mission and stuff like Zion.
Well, again, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Again, the movement called the Black Hebrews or the Black Israelites, or whatever it is, it's a farce. There's no truth to it, right? Historically, the Jewish people have very strong history, all the way, coming from Israel to wherever we are today. There's very strong history going back, archaeology to prove it, etc. The nation of Israel, we always had a system. Now, yes, it's very possible that the Jews went to Europe and maybe a few joined or a few were raped and there was European blood that came into the Jews and then became a little bit more white, etc. Right? It could very well be. It could very well be that there was some gene ethnicity that came from other places that we were. As a matter of fact, if you look at Jews that were in the same place for many years, usually they look like the people of the place. You look today at the Iranian Jews, they look like any other Iranians. You look at the Iraqi Jews, they look like other Iraqis, right? Because again, first of all, it could be that some people converted to Judaism and then their genes kind of like mixed with the Jews of the place. So whichever Jews they were. Now, that being said, I think that, Judaism, at least Orthodox Judaism, has very clear rules. And I think that that's if you ask me, I think that this is one of the reasons why the Black community likes Judaism also, because in some other religions, even though they kind of believe in the Bible, but it's so flexible that everybody can do what they want. Whereas in Judaism, there's very strict rules. So, for example, if a Jew converts to Judaism and he does it the proper way, right? We don't have the right to say that he's not Jewish. We have no right to say he's not Jewish. What right do we have to say he's not Jewish? Right? We don't like the guy. We don't like where he comes from. Who cares? We have to accept him as one of us, and we're biblically obligated to love your fellow as yourself. 100%, right? We can't treat one person differently because we personally have an issue. As a matter of fact, that's what the Torah tells us, is we have to get over our personal issues and accept every Jew as ourselves, right? And that's a very important aspect of Judaism. And I think that that's something that also could be in some cases intriguing to minorities, that they know that if they join properly, then they have that. But that's actually not why they should join. They should not join because they find the benefits of Judaism. They need to join because they feel, as a matter of fact, Jews, we even though we might have that benefit, we have a lot of other benefits, right? Jewish people, we've been attacked, we've been hurt, right? Yeah, but now you're gonna. So let me tell you something. If you become a Black Jew, you get slapped from both sides.
Oh, I know. But guess what? They got to worry.
You're gonna be slapped for being Black, and you're gonna be slapped for being Jew. You're gonna be like, bam, both ends. Both ends are gonna get.
Because see, like what I'm saying in the community, like people come to my house.
So the person asked over here, the person that I'm speaking to. So let me just make it something clear. The person that I'm speaking to over here, that's over here, we can even show him. Here's my friend Matisyahu.
No, don't show that, Rabbi. That's very
Why?
bad.
Could we show you on the screen? He doesn't mind. There you go. This is our friend Matisyahu. There you go. Okay. Yeah, we have a very multicultural class today. Can I know that? Good. So the fact is that he's not part of the Black Hebrew movement. He happens to be part of the. No, he's not yet. Not yet. He's working on it. But he's a person that doesn't claim that he is already Jewish. He knows that he's not necessarily Jewish yet, and he's looking into organizing it. Bezrat Hashem. It's up to it's up to him and the rabbis to determine whether that goes through. But I think that he actually realizes that he's not automatically Jewish just because he's black, like the Black Hebrews that think that just because they're black, they're all of a sudden Jewish.
So the Black community that loves Judaism,
Yeah.
a fraction of them are those loud, uneducated idiots.
Right.
The other part are Noahides who just only read the oral Torah and stuff
Right.
like this. You know what I mean? So it's like Nissim Black is one of us. Akiva, I'm coming. There's gonna be other people behind me that's trying to make conversion.
No, by the way, you're not there. I know there's quite a few people. I'm not sure. Did you ever watch this guy? He's a rapper called Nissim Black.
Yeah. That's what I was just saying.
Yeah, of course. Oh, you know him?
Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with him later tomorrow.
Yeah, you're gonna meet him.
Yeah, because he spoke to me about conversion.
Yeah.
And then I started talking about it.
You could look it up. Anybody wants to see, the guy's name's Nissim Black. He is also from the Black community. He's going to perform for our yeshiva. He's performing for our yeshiva on Lag BaOmer. No, it's I'm saying our yeshiva is making the concert. Our yeshiva is making the concert with Nissim Black.
You want me here?
Nissim Black, as I said, if you look him up, he's a very interesting story. He actually was part of the gangster culture in, I forget where. Seattle, something. He was part of the gangster culture, and he was rapping as a gangster. And then he, for whatever reason, decided to search for spirituality, and he became Jewish. And he is now rapping Jewish stuff. Yeah, so you could look him up. And sometimes he comes to his concert with a big strimal. You ever see it? He look. By the way, he has that look. With that strimal. You ever see him? He comes sometimes with a black strimal with the white kapota.
What?
With the white, the kapota. He looks like just the contrast of all the colors there, and it's like it looks like
Black strimal.
Yeah.
I want to dress like that too. As soon as I learn.
You know what I mean? Kapot is like that long thing that the Hasidim wear. So normally the Hasidim wear the black one, right? But he wears sometimes by his concert, he puts on this white kapota. And then he has this big strimal, and it like he looks magical. It was like, yeah, it's a great, what's it called? Yeah. He says Seattle isn't gangster enough.
He ain't went to the wrong side of it.
My friend over here says he went to the wrong side.
You didn't go to the wrong side.
Yeah.
You're saying there is a side of Seattle.
They have Crips and Bloods in Seattle.
Crips and Bloods.
What's
By the way, when I was in Crown Heights, I don't meet any Bloods. I met a lot of Crips. I don't know why. Maybe
Crown Heights. Yeah.
A lot of Crips there.
Yeah, Crown Heights.
That was a West Coast thing.
But they spread.
Spread all the way to the East Coast? No.
Yeah, and then they all caught like RICO charges and got locked up, but they spread when they. Yeah.
Anyways, I met
I grew up in LA, so you see it over there.
Yeah, but my father was strict, so I never got into trouble.
When I was in Crown Heights,
Yeah.
a lot of the other Jews were like, okay, just don't fight with blacks. I was like, whenever I get in a fight with a black, I didn't mind. You know why? Because I spoke to some of the gangsters, and so the real gangsters, because Jews are looked at as weak, the real gangsters looks like low the way you fight the Jews.
Yeah, it's act of cowardice.
Low stuff.
Yeah.
They would start with me. I knew they weren't gangsters.
Yeah, because a coward only
I used to fight with
goes.
them. I used to fight with them all the time. And I knew if they started with me, they weren't gangsters. That's what I knew.
Yeah, because it's number one in the black community. You protect holy people. You don't attack holy people. In the black community, you don't attack holy people. That's like a big. You'll get kicked out the community. So yeah.
Yeah, I had some good friends with the Crips. I used to talk and chat.
In Brooklyn?
Yeah. No, because I grew up in Crown Heights. I grew up in Crown Heights in like the last block of like the Jewish community. So my block, have you ever heard of the Crown Heights riots? I grew up on the block that it started.
Oh wow.
Which means that I would say about a third of the block was Jewish and 2/3 was black. Right? And you know the story. What happened was, unfortunately, there was a Jew that was driving a car and killed a black kid. And they felt it was they felt that it was a Jewish conspiracy. I don't know what happened. They got something in their brains. I don't know what, but they decided to take it out on all the Jews. It was a wild time. I remember that I was a young kid, but it was very like it's interesting because some people look at this anti-Semitism. It was actually the truth. I'm gonna tell you a secret of Canada's rights. The real secret of Canada's rights is it happened like a week before school started, which means that all these kids, and many of them were out on the streets. They had nothing to do with the summer vacation, and they were super bored, and they just riled up. They were on that front. That's the truth. That's the truth. Most of it. And then once they started running around and making trouble, so then Al Sharpton came, the news came, and then it became like a whole political thing. But really, it started out by a bunch of kids. And by the way, you go after the Crown Heights riots, one of the first things the city did was they made a program that people could work in the summer, like for children, youth. Why? Because
Child labor.
no, well, again, the problem is in America, they give the kids 3 months off of school, and they have nothing better to do. So what do? They get in trouble. They have nothing to do, right? If you put a kid on the street, you tell him you can't work, you can't go to school. And what are you going to do? You're going to look for trouble, especially in those neighborhoods. Trouble meant fighting, drugs, and a lot of fireworks. You used to buy fireworks and blow up the whole place. And M80s, remember that?
Yeah, M80s. Yeah, you stay in the ghetto for real. Yeah.
No, you know what an M80s? Yeah, you remember M80s?
Oh, they just had a bunch. They
They were
were
just like a little bomb.
during Purim, man. Had some black hats. The kids were throwing on the ground.
No, those are nothing. The M80s is literally like a little bomb.
Little stick of
One
dynamite.
time, my friend and I, we got an M80, and for fun, we put it inside of we put it inside of a soda can. And we lit it, and we ran as far as we could. We came back, we could not find a single piece of that soda can. That soda can was ripped to shreds. It was, thank God no one was around, because it was a shrapnel. It probably could have killed someone. We ran, but it was flipping dangerous, right? But we put it in the soda can, lit it, ran away, and we came back. We could not find a single piece of the soda can. Not even one. Anyways, wow, it's late. We're happening in China. We're supposed to be doing stuff. We have people that be watching. As soon as I go off the topic, everybody's watching.
Sorry.
Oh, that is.
It's crowded. All right. Anyways,
you said like how
yeah.
you know people were like when people had like a few months off, like they just start just getting into trouble. It's like in Florida, I saw that like
You have nothing to do. What are you gonna do?
no,
You're
exactly.
gonna make trouble, especially kids. They have nothing
Like
to
I
do.
see like
They experiment. They steal bikes. They, they used to get into fights.
this is the thing. It's why like I was gonna say
That,
earlier, like
by the way, it's something that I push a lot here in yeshiva too. Is that one of the keys to satanic energy is being idle, like doing nothing. If you do nothing, you're gonna find bad things to do. If you want to ensure that you don't do evil things, you have to be doing good things because it's one or the other. Anyways, I'm gonna end with that because we've gone a little too long already, and that's that. Wow. Yes. For the question, yes. How long does it take for a non-Jew to become a Jew? The truth is that that would depend on the rabbis that are involved. Different rabbis have different requirements. There's generally the general requirement is that you have to be a non-Jew would have to be the rabbis would have to feel comfortable that this person is ready to commit their life to the Jewish people, because we don't believe that people need to convert to Judaism. Unlike some religions, they want everybody to be like them. We believe that Jewish people is a particular destiny, and there is a destiny for those who aren't Jews. And there's if you want to look it up, there's the Noahide laws, which are a set of laws that the Jewish people, that the non-Jewish people have to follow. We believe that not everybody needs to be part of the Jewish nation. The Jewish nation is called the nation of priests. Priests, by definition, are people who are meant to influence others. Not necessarily is everybody meant to influence others. Some people are there to just live their own life in an honest and proper way. And that's why in order to become Jewish, the rabbis have to feel comfortable that it's actually a commitment that you're willing and be capable of doing, right? And some rabbis, have to take more time. What I would suggest is definitely not going to be less than a year. In many cases, it could be 5 years, 10 years. of study, of involvement, of connection with the community. Yeah, if you want to send me a private message, I can ask you where you're, right in the private message, tell me where you're from, and I can try to advise if there is a rabbinic organization close to you that could perform conversion, and they will guide you further. That's all I'm going to say for today. I hope you enjoyed, had a good time. Like the Zoom, we're going to end right now. Bye bye.